There you go, Phillip.
Alright, my name is Phillip, as you just said, and my topic is on the Los Angeles Lakers. Do we have any Lakers fans out there? Alright, good. Sorry it's not going so good this season. But anyway, I've been a Laker fan my whole life, pretty much since Kobe came into the league, 1996. It's been pretty good going for us Laker fans out there. We've won 5 championships. We've only missed the playoffs once in 2005, and then obviously probably not going to make the playoffs this season. But there is hope. We've gone through 2 kind of rebuilding stages. Right in 1996, a couple years after Magic Johnson retired, we signed Shaq to a contract, and then we also traded for Kobe Bryant. And then it took them a couple seasons to build chemistry, and they had the three-peat in 2000 through 2002. And then after that whole Kobe and Shaq debacle, Shaq left, and it was pretty much Kobe's team. So it took a couple seasons for them to rebuild that team, and that's when we signed Pau Gasol and won 2 more championships. So there is hope. The Lakers front office knows how to acquire talent via trade or signing top-level players, and that's what my main claim is. The Lakers will win the NBA championship within the next 3 seasons. So in order to do that, I have my 3 supporting claims. 1, they will sign or trade 1 or 2 top players this summer and or next summer. 2, they will have a top 10 pick in this season's NBA draft. And 3, Kobe Bryant will be back to playing at a high level once he comes back from his second injury this season. So my first claim, they will sign up 1 or 2 top players this summer. They need to do this because in order to win an NBA championship, you need to have one of the top 5-10 players in the NBA. And right now they only have Kobe Bryant, who is injured, so they need to somehow, whether it be trade or sign someone, they need to get someone immediately, because Kobe Bryant, he's running out of time. He's 35. He's been in the league for about 18 seasons. So that is number 1 on the list. This season, they set themselves up for this summer by signing a lot of 1-year contracts, so that gave them the flexibility to have cap space this summer. Right now, they have 4 players signed on to next season: Kobe, Robert Sacre, Steve Nash, and Nick Young has a player option, which means he has the option to come back if he wants or not. So they have about $25 million in cap space, and it jumps up to $35 million if Steve Nash retires. Hopefully he does, because he's not doing too well for us. So that gives them a lot of flexibility to go out and sign someone to come help Kobe Bryant. There's a lot of options this summer. There's LeBron, there's Carmelo Anthony, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, Dirk Nowitzki, Greg Monroe, Luol Deng, Eric Bledsoe. There's a lot of players out there that hopefully they can acquire. If not, we can go out and hopefully trade for someone. One person that I would like to see in a Laker uniform is Kevin Love. He's not doing, the Timberwolves are doing okay right now, but he's not happy with the team. I've read a bunch of reports that he would like to be a Laker. He's not happy in Minnesota. They're not going anywhere. So that's one trade target they could potentially look into. And they've done it in the past. So hopefully, if they don't sign anyone this summer, they can look into that again. My second claim, they will have a top 10 pick in this season's draft. Right now, they have the 7th worst record in the league, so that sets them up for the number 7 pick. It could either go up, it could go down. To the lowest they could get is number 10, so it could go up to potentially number 1, which is obviously what we're all hoping for, but we can't predict that really. So this season's draft, there's a lot of potential. There's 3 for sure top candidates that could potentially change a franchise's direction, and that would ideally be who they would draft. It's Andrew Wiggins, Joel Embiid, I think that's his last name, and then Jabari Parker. Those are the 3 top picks that everyone wants, but that's not too realistic. So what I'm thinking is they should draft a big guy, because we already have Kobe. In D'Antoni's system, we don't need a top-level point guard. It would be ideal, but we don't necessarily need that. So I think they should go after the two guys I'm thinking are Aaron Gordon and Julius Randle. I would like to have Aaron Gordon over him because he has the potential to be a Blake Griffin type of player, and that's something that we need. We don't have. This is the first season we've had a lot of youth and a lot of. What's the word? Well, we just got a lot younger this season, so that's what we need more of. And we're hoping that they can come in right away and take a starting position, and hopefully with the player that we sign and Kobe, that they can create a big three, which will help them to contend. And then my last claim is Kobe will play at a high level for the next 2 seasons. A lot of people are doubting him because he's 35 and he tore his Achilles. But I have never doubted him. He's played through a bunch of injuries over his career. They won a championship when he only was playing with 2 healthy fingers. So I think that just his determination and motivation, that will help him play at a high level for the next 2 seasons. And also, he is trying to catch up to Michael Jordan, so that's just another incentive for him to come back and play at a high level. And that's pretty much it.
All right, Phillip, you did several things really well. I think that the introduction establishes some of your bona fides. You have a very clear statement of the proposition, an excellent layout of what the secondary claims are going to be. I think it's probably somewhat controversial. I mean, it is a claim of future fact, and it seemed to be a lot of dubious ideas going on here, so it sounds like an argument. You're in good shape there. The structure is... you signpost as you're going along, so it's very easy to follow. I do think that there are some assumptions that need a little bit more explanation, but even more than explanation, you need some evidence on those assumptions. And that's where I think the main weaknesses in the argument are, because you have ideas and examples that you don't really support. You mentioned, a player that potentially they could trade for, Kevin Love, and I didn't hear any information. I don't follow basketball, so I don't know who Kevin Love is, what impact he could have on the game. I don't know what his qualifications are as a player, and I don't know how he would fit into the system that you're talking about, and you need to have some information to support that contention. All I know is that he's a malcontent on the team that he's on right now and wants out of there. That doesn't sound like somebody that you necessarily would want on your team. Your claim is that they're going to be an effective player that would fit in with the scheme that the Lakers are using. That's what I need some proof on, and I didn't really get that. The same kind of thing applies with the potential incoming class of players from college. You list 3 people that would be their ideal choices that are potential, franchise-type players coming out of college. You say that. I don't know why you believe that those 3 are the 3 that fit in that category. This is a good place to have some expert testimony talking about how each of those guys could potentially have that impact. And then you mentioned 2 other players that you think are probable people, and you have one in particular that you think would fit well, but the only proof that you offer is your own opinion on that, and I think that's a little bit problematic. I do think that you've got some credibility on this. You probably understand it pretty well, but I don't know you well enough, and some expertise on this would be really helpful at selling the point that you're talking about. So it just feels to me like it's inadequate on the proof. There's also a little bit more background information that needs to be clarified. As I recall, the reason that they might have a shot at any of those top 3 players instead of the number 7 player is because they have a lottery for the top picks, right? They don't just do it based.
Yeah.
It's not like in the NFL where they do it, worst record gets a top pick and so on and so forth. They have a lottery system. That's one of those things that you need to explain. That's why there is a chance that they could be as high as number 1 or as low as number 10. It's just because otherwise I'm going, well, we know they're number 7. Wouldn't they get the number 7 position? Not everybody's going to know that. So that's just a point that needed to be explained a little bit more. you know, if we were just having this conversation, you know, over beers, eating pizza or something like that, sounds like you made a pretty good argument. But if I'm, you know, I'm one of the people in the organization, and you're trying to convince me that we've still got a chance to do this, and here are the players that we need to have, here's how we can do it, I think I'm going to need a lot more proof. All right, thank you.